Hey guys, what's up? It's Paul bringing you another episode of Toys in Motion. And today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new figure from the Four Horsemen's Mythic Legions line. I've been really excited to get my hands on this guy because this is the first figure they've released in brute scale. What is brute scale? Well, I'll explain in a minute, but first, let's take a look at Tharnog. So this is Tharnog. Now, Tharnog is an orc, and Mythic Legions has done a bunch of different orcs, and they have an awesome army if you want to collect orc figures. I love the Mythic Legions orcs, and this one is special because this guy is actually brand new with a ton of brand new accessories, but he is the first figure to be released in brute scale. Now, what is brute scale? Well, Mythic Legions, the whole line is 1/12 scale. So they have multiple body types within that 1/12 scale. They have this standard 1.0 body, and that's like your knights and your barbarians and such. But then they also have a 2.0 body type. Now, the 2.0 body type is a thinner, smaller body, and they often use that for the elves and for the female figures, but also for like some of the goblins. There's a bunch of figures in that 2.0 scale. And the 1.0 and the 2.0 aren't really 100% compatible because they have different size keys and such. Now, they also make a half-giant scale or ogre scale. That's a larger, really big figure that, like the name says, is a half-giant. Now, this guy, he's brand new, and he's brute scale. So he's a little bit bigger than the 1.0 bodies. I know this sounds confusing. Hopefully throwing the pictures in kind of helps put it all together. Now, in the photos, I'm going to take pictures of this guy next to all those other figures. So you'll see this figure right alongside of the other ones. So you can see how brute scale compares to the other Mythic Legion size figures. Now, this is the first full figure they've released in brute scale, but they did release one other figure in brute scale, partially. That's the centaur. The centaur has an upper body of a brute scale figure. Now, what does that mean? Well, it kind of means that you could take this figure and you could switch it with the centaur body and create an orc centaur. How cool is that? You know, as a guy that likes to do custom stuff, to me, that's a really fun idea. You know, I love to take these figures and spin my own imagination on them. Now, that by no means takes away from the figures as they come. Because if you know me, my collection and all, a lot of times I have two of every figure. So I can keep one as the figure came, but then have another one, or in some cases, multiple figures to do custom work on. Because to me, being able to switch the figures around, what they call pop and swap with some of the parts, that's so much fun. To do the painting and to repaint some of them, that's even better. But I take it a whole nother step, and I'm digitally sculpting my own heads and parts and then 3D printing them to completely make my own figures. And if you want to see any of that, there's a link to my web store in the description below, www.trollheadstudios.com, where we sell a lot of these pieces. And I am going to be making some custom pieces for the scale that I'm talking about, these brute scale figures. There's so many cool pieces, and I love skulls and bones and things, and this guy's got a bunch of them. So this is such a really cool action figure. I have been dying to get my hands on this guy since they announced that he was going to be released. And I can't wait to see what other brute scale figures they give to us. Let's get this guy over to the table. Let's open him up and have a good look at him, and then we'll take some pictures. So here he is right out of the packaging. And straight up, this is a great looking figure. I love all the accessories and the way they did them. He really has a very cool overall look. And of course, he's this brute scale, which will compare him to a regular size orc in a minute. But he also comes with these great wrist wraps and leg wraps. He has this fantastic belt with the skull and the little pieces on it, the bones in the back and everything. The head sculpt is really nicely done. I love how they did the big tusks on him. The pauldrons are nice. Let's take a quick look. Now, I connected these into the pauldrons. They come in the box. They look like they're connected, but they're not. They just fit right in that socket. Of course, all this stuff comes off, and we will strip him down in a minute to take a look at the figure, just to compare it with the regular scale orc. He also comes with this head, which is exactly the same sculpt. Everything about it's the same, except it has this paint job with the stripes. It's very nice. He comes with these two extra hands that you can switch out. He also comes with a hand with like a magic ball happening there, which is kind of a clear... Yeah, you see that? Isn't that cool? That's nice. He also comes with some extra fur that you can put around his neck or do anything you damn well want with it. And he has this crazy cool staff. I really like this quite a bit. Very nicely done. Great detail on that. Very nice. So he's kind of like a magic user type of a character, the way he comes, the look he has. I have some plans because I have several different custom heads that I also sell at trollheadstudios.com, and I have scaled them to brute scale that will fit this figure nicely, because even though I love the way this figure is, he's a very timid looking orc, almost like a magic user or something. And I really want to have a mean-looking orc, a little bit more of a fighter look to him. So I'm going to switch out, and we'll do a couple pictures with some of the custom heads that I have, that I've been dying to try on a brute scale figure. Real quick, let's just take a fast look at how he stands next to a regular orc. And there now, when you stand them side by side, you really can see the difference in the two figures. He is a considerable amount bigger than the standard 1.0 body orc. He looks beautiful. You can see everything is just scaled up. The arm, hands, everything is bigger. Now, what does that mean? In one way, you're not going to be able to switch parts freely between these two scale. His arms are bigger. The wrists are longer. You know, everything is a different scale. Sure, I didn't pull him apart yet, but I'm sure he's keyed differently as well. So he comes with his nice little fur skirt, and you can see him a little bit better without the armor on. Let's pop the head off. So you can, same style, everything is right on. Bare legs. Let's pop them right apart. First time I ever did this. Let's take this apart. He does not have a loincloth other than the fur pieces. Oh, and I see these are two separate fur pieces with a little hole through them, so you can rearrange and configure them any way you'd like. Of course, with all Mythic Legions, he has the same kind of movement as your standard 1.0 figure. You know, basically the same Mythic Legions type figure, except scaled up. And here's a look at how he looks. No waist piece or anything, but there again you can see the size difference, which to me, that's the important part. And I love the fact that they finally did the brute scale orc, because when you have him next to like a knight or something, if he's the same size, it looks less impressive. So this brute scale, I'm a huge fan of. I really want to get a couple more of the bare bones brute scale figures so I can do more with them. Because like I said, the heads that I have, I'm very excited about trying out on this scale figure. I think they're going to make badass orcs, and I'm really excited about it. So, alright, this guy, we're going to stand him over here. So here we are. There he is. Get a good look at everything. Just one more, take a quick look at this skirt piece. I'm excited to take some pictures of this guy. So let's do that and take a look at some of these custom heads that I'm doing. Oh, look. Oh, wait. Let's just take a minute to check this out. Ooh, that's kind of cool looking without the... Oh, he's not. It kind of has a neat look like that without the fur. Oh, of course, he's got the bare bottom going on. And he does he? Yeah, he has the boom boom hole in the back. So you could plug a tail or something into that, I'm sure. Yep, there it is. I'm sure that down the line we're going to see a lot more brute scale, which, again, I'm really happy about that. So, all right, I'm going to put him back together and take some pictures of him, and then we'll talk about it when it's over. Well, I was excited about the brute scale figure, and it did not disappoint. I think this guy looks so cool next to the other figures. You know, I just love that dynamic of different sized figures. It just makes the armies that you're building look so much more realistic. And I can't wait to get some more of this figure, because I totally want to make like a absolute warrior orc with this size figure. I just am so blown away by all the detail in the pieces that they gave us. What do you guys think? Do you like the brute scale? Do you like the orcs and the way they're doing them, I mean, there's a lot of really cool orc figures out right now. And there's some that they're doing in just an oversized, like the Hulk scale figure. You know, I've seen some really nice ones by a few different companies now, and I've been back and forth on whether or not I should pull the trigger on them. A lot of those guys, you know, the figures are up in the 75 to 90 range, but they're really unique, and some of the stuff they're coming out with is really close to the Warcraft looking orcs and everything. Do you guys collect them? If I got some, would you want to see them in the videos? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll pick a couple up, because I do like an orc army, man. That is just so cool to have one shelf of all the orcs. And I still have a couple Mythic Legions figures behind me over here of a few of the orcs that I haven't even opened yet. So I'm going to get on it, because I want to see a shelf of nothing but orcs. So thank you guys, as always, for subscribing to the channel, for liking the videos, for leaving me comments. I always find it a great time to see what insight you guys have. And you always say the coolest things. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're going to be coming at you with a bunch of new stuff. And I've been doing a lot of other things on the side that I'm going to try to show in the videos. So thank you again, and we will see you next time on Toys in Motion.